This video is made for adult collectors because swashbuckling space pirates. That took 4 times to do because I couldn't get the swashbuckling space right, because you understand. Non-copyrighted intro. Pirates. Pain. So, Legacy is giving us a new Thundertron. Who would have thought he would make a comeback? I certainly didn't. Thundertron is a character from the Aligned books, specifically Exiles, I believe, the second book in the series, and he was ruthless. Bro decimated parts of Junkion, he attacked Velocitron, he uses the Requiem Blaster to try and kill the Nemesis, and he fought head-to-head with Megatron and was able to walk away. Also, his ship is called the Tidal Wave, so there's technically an Aligned Continuity Tidal Wave. That's cool. This garnered his inclusion in the Prime toy line, and now a toy in the Legacy line that legally releases in January of next year. But this particular version is the Transformers Go Prime. Like, his name is Go Prime. But for my sanity, I'm just gonna call him Thundertron for the duration of the video, and you're just gonna have to deal with that. Now, before I go any further, this video is brought to you by Bai. They are a proxy buying service from Japan that allows you to order things from stores that don't ship outside of Japan. There's so many Transformers on there, on the different websites, it's insane. So, in addition to me getting this guy for 40 bucks sealed, the box is just downstairs. He was sealed and he was 40 bucks. That's about the price of a Canadian Voyager at the moment. So that's a pretty good deal. I also got, hang on, there's a lot. I got Tasmania Kid, an original Tasmania Kid for like 8 bucks. Everything is in working order. The missile thing still works. He's a really interesting toy. I like it. But not only did I get Tasmania Kid, I got another Tasmania Kid. This is a 2-pack with Tasmania Kid and Dirge, I believe his name is. I think it's Dirge. But I did open this. It was sealed. I opened it because like the box was like in shambles. So I figured why not? And I mess with Dirge and I like it, but I'm leaving that Tasmania Kid's arm keeps falling off. But I think this was about $15. I want to say. I could be wrong. 14 or 15 bucks, something like that. Brand new. That's very good price. But I got even more stuff. I got this Big Convoy roleplay gun for $20. This is sealed. I have not opened it. Tape is still on both sides. I have not opened it yet. I don't know if I will open it. I probably won't. It's a little faded, as you can see on the back and on the front. It's a bit sun faded, but it's in there. This is really cool. This was, I believe, like 20 bucks or something like that. But then, the coolest things other than Thundertron were probably also the most expensive things, but I got a Big Convoy. Who doesn't want to stand? Because he's been lying down. Stand up. There we go. A Big Convoy and a Magmatron. I got him. I plugged his thing in there for some reason, but here's the shield. I got both of these complete for $200. Sounds like it's expensive, but like he goes for $200 and he goes for $200 sometimes. So basically buying this and getting one for free, I think is a really good deal. And yeah, that's the cool. He'll be getting a video soon. Don't worry. I'll leave a link to their site in the description down below. Now, every time I do a buy thing, I always want to preface, just make sure when budgeting, you budget for shipping. While the cheaper shipping options are now available again because COVID backups are more open now, the bigger your box and the more items you put in it, the more expensive it'll be because the heavier and bigger, and it goes on a plane sometimes. But thanks again, Bai, for sponsoring today's video. Now back onto the actual toy. Thundertron definitely looks like a pirate with the friggin' head crest and the coattails and the friggin' peg leg. I am so glad they're keeping that gimmick on the new one. Speaking of which, the new one's very interesting because not only does it look a lot like this old toy, but it also looks entirely different. It strikes that balance between the two looks, which I think only one Legacy Prime toy has done in the past, and that being the Skyquake mold. The new one is bulkier and engineered differently with different shoulder pads, new forearm designs, but the old one is more slim and slender, making him feel more nimble, whereas the new one is just built like a tank. I love all the nice painted gold details on here. I'm not usually a gold guy, but because this is a pirate, I feel it works superbly well. The clear green also really helps make that robot mode pop more in that sea of grays and blacks, though I'm not a big fan of the gray they chose to use on this toy. I adore the head sculpt. It feels very Blackbeard with the massive, well, beard and mustache. And the pirate hat part at the front is adjustable, which I love. He does have light piping, but it is painted over because the red does look nicer, although it kind of would have made sense to do red light piping, but then there's no red clear spruce as the whole thing. I really like how the shoulder pads are the front lion arms folded up in a very interesting way to make these spiky shoulders, which the new one is missing. And I kind of wish it had them because that's a design choice that I very much think is quintessentially Thundertron, and it's not on the new one. That's my biggest disappointment with the new one's looks. He comes with 2 red rubber swords. These are the same blades as Gokenzan, which I still have 5 of. I haven't been able to get rid of them yet. And yeah, he can do the peg leg thing by sliding the foot off and then mounting it on the arm. But the foot also has another cool feature, sort of. You can fold the peg down and it looks like a bird mounted on his arm. Now that's sick. It is a fan mode though, which I don't think the new one will do because it is a fan mode, but it would be cool if the new one did it. So Thundertron's articulation is very 2011 to 2013 era. Like, it's not packed with it, but it has some weird things going on, especially in the legs. So the head can only really rotate that far left and right just due to his beard. He can't really look up or down that much, but yeah, the beard does get in the way a little bit. So you want that glorious beard. He's got weird head movement. And like, I've just noticed that it's actually shifted off the ball joint. There we go, I fixed it. It's still limited. The articulation in the head is still a little limited. These shoulder pads, they have flaps at the front that can move forward to accommodate for the shoulders to go forward, or you can just move them out of the way to make the arms go all the way up. They can go out. There's an extra shoulder pad here. You got bicep rotation. These bits like to move a lot, which is kind of annoying. Just get the shoulder pad back down there. 90-degree bend at the elbow. The wrist can hinge inward. Nothing at the waist. I'm not sure if they could have fit a waist joint in, considering his legs do this for the transformation. Hips can only go forward about that far. They can go back pretty far. They can go in and out. These hip skirts are on ball joints. They can get out of the way. You have thigh rotation. You have a really nice deep knee bend. And then this ankle can go down. It can go up. And it has a little bit of ankle tilt and foot rotation. This ankle, because it's the peg leg, can only go forward and back and foot rotate. There's no tilt. Like, they didn't make the peg leg tilt, and the tilt on this foot is in the leg, not in the foot, so they couldn't do it here either. I'm hoping the new one has a tilt in the foot as opposed to in the leg, so that they can get that peg leg foot when it's combined to tilt, but we'll see. It doesn't look like it will, but, you know, we'll find out. Now, a couple of weird oddities I have with the articulation on... Oh, also, this can move. Weird articulation oddities is these shoulder pads. They look cool, but they kind of just feel weird when you're moving the arms around. They can get in the way a little bit, and they like to come untabbed quite a bit from the back here. So that can be a little annoying. And then just the limitations in the legs, in the hip sections where they don't go forward very far. That's about as far forward as they can go. So that's a bit pain. But it is still pretty fun. Like, pirates, what are they going to do? Sword fight, like, and then that's it. He's not going to do much acrobatics, although he did hold his own against Megatron in the book, so maybe he would do acrobatics. Also, this is the closest thing I have to a Requiem blaster, so he's going to hold that. But he's cool. So a cool looking robot with slightly limited articulation. His transformation's definitely going to be interesting then, eh? So his transformation is far from your typical lion transformation or animal transformation to begin with. The arms become the torso. That's pretty cool. So to start with, you fold the hands in. Then we're going to take these and bring these out like that. And then what's next? Then we're going to take the little flap right here above the crotch piece and flip it up. Now this panel is spring loaded. It will just sort of spring into place, which I think is cool. Fold up the pirate hat and get the head all situated up here. Close this section up. We're just going to leave it like that for now. Now what you want to do is you want to take the arms here. And this is the cool part. They will fit into this cavity. So you just sort of shove them in there like so, like that. Then you bring the lion legs down and peg them into the side of the torso without focusing on my hand. There we go. Lion legs into the torso. And then you take the arms, you rotate them, and they'll peg into the lion legs, securing them into place. more secure than they are in robot mode. And once that's locked in, you bring the feet around, flip them up, bring them around, and that's the front of the lion legs, or that's the front lion legs. Now to get the head finished, you bring this back, then you just fold this up like so, and that's the lion's mane. That's a really cool way of getting a lion's head and arms situated. I've never seen another toy do that. Now the back legs, it's pretty simple. You extend this like that, rotate the thigh swivels 180 degrees, rotate the feet, bring these little wingtip sections on the feet back like that, fold them down, and then these will actually peg into the air escape holes on the ball joints. So you get all that lined up like so. Can be a little annoying at first. Then you take this back section, clip it into place, and there you have lion mode. That wasn't super hard. That was actually quite cool. So that's a cool lion mode. I love the way this feels sci-fi more so than realistic or fantasy, like a lot of other lion transformers we've gotten in the past. The green really helps that sci-fi motif, and I love where the robot arms end up. I wasn't expecting that at all. Most of the change in the transformation happens up front, and the back does feel a bit basic, but it's a very nice and solid lion mode. Like, you could just pick it up and drop it and it'll land on all 4 feet and it won't like compress. The mouth isn't articulated, which is a shame, and the swords don't really have a dedicated storage point other than sticking out the sides like Age of Extinction Slug. I hate that, but it's still probably my favorite lion mode toy I own at the moment. Granted, I don't own a lot, and one of them's packed away at the moment. And yes, I do recommend this. It's different enough from the new one that I can justify keeping both, and this particular version is a different character. There are 4 decos of the old Thundertron mold. Thundertron, Go Prime, Leo Prime, and BotCon Alpha Trizer. So you're spoiled for choice on this mold. And if you want a different colored version of this mold to go next to the new Thundertron, if you're someone who doesn't like buying multiple versions of the same character, you could totally get the Leo Prime, Go Prime, or Alpha Trizer variants because they're different characters. But that's my look at Transformers Prime Thundertron / Go Prime. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.